Hi everyone, welcome to the video. In this one we're going to be setting up the Sinden Lightgun with the Dolphin emulator, so we can play some Wii games. Also there's some good gun games on there, so I'm quite keen to set this up. This is the second video I've done for the Lightgun, for the Sinden Lightgun. The first one was around that initial setup, and then set up with main. So I'm not going to go for the initial setup, we're going to jump into the actual configuration of the emulator. So we just switch over to the Sinden Wiki. So this will be the main page you launch on, also you land on. Has a whole bunch of useful information here, setting bits and pieces up, some troubleshooting, all that kind of stuff. But down the left hand side, we're under Windows, we're going to go to emulators, and here's the list of the ones it supports and the guides they've got for them. So we go to Dolphin. And I'm just going to step through this. I haven't sort of prepped anything. I like to do the videos kind of sort of real time, sort of work on it as we go. After I've got a game ready that I'm going to use with this. So let's go to the Dolphin website to grab the latest version. So the way they name their releases, it's slightly different. So you've got obviously beta versions, but they're more like the stable version, if that makes sense. Because you say that the latest beta was actually released 3 months ago. And then there's quite a gap between them, and then you've got development versions which are sort of released, every day or a couple of times a day. I mean, I've normally used these development ones because they've got the latest updates, latest fixes, latest improvements in them. I mean, if you want to sort of play it safe, I guess you can go for a beta version, which is what I tend, sometimes do. But normally I go for the dev versions. It's got just the latest updates, and there are some what they call legacy versions, which are very old, so you can probably ignore those. So I'm just going to go for the latest dev version, so running on Windows. Just going to grab that one, put that in my downloads folder. Not particularly big. Just let that download. There we go. So yeah, 15 meg, not very big at all. So I'm just going to expand that out for now. I've got 7-zip. Actually, let's just double click it, easier. With 7-zip, and then what I will do is I've been starting to put together a light gun build. For those that have seen my other videos, I've done a retro bat build. So the general games I'm thinking about doing, or I'm starting to do a retro bat build purely for light guns. So here's light gun collection. So this is just a standard install of retro bat, but I've been collecting some light gun games are here. So wrong place. So in emulators, I'm just going to pop it in here. Actually, I'm not going to drag it into the. I've got to copy and paste first, but okay. So it's going to extract what we downloaded, drag it into wherever you want it. You can put this wherever you want. I'm just putting it here for neatness for the moment. And so they've already got a copy of Dolphin in here. There's a standard version of Dolphin, and then there's a certain version of Dolphin for the Triforce games, which are the arcade games which are based on kind of the GameCube hardware. So I think that one we can probably leave as it is. So let's just start everything in this fresh copy. So we've got our copy of Dolphin now. So let's just go back. Oh, maybe that's too far. Go back to the Wii guide. So grab your latest version. It says there's no light gun games for GameCube. There are some for Wii. I'm sure I've heard someone or seen someone say about a light gun game on GameCube. But anyway, so the latest version of Dolphin only supports one gun. There is an older version which supports 2 through a different method, but also I'm not going to cover that today. Just do the single light gun, make it nice and easy. So yeah, so to install it, extract it wherever you want. They've done Dolphin, and then there's a good option or recommended option to make it a portable install. It basically means that when you run it, all the files and config files and profile, whatever it generates, are all contained within that one folder. By default, if you don't, it puts it into your sort of your Windows profile, into your Windows Documents folder, And then obviously if you're setting this up and you want to, especially something like RetroBat, or just if you did it standalone and you want to move it between one PC or another, or you want to move it, then it's not going to work because it's got files spread about all over the place. So basically all you do is you create an empty text file called portable.txt. So you take this name, so a blank text file inside the Dolphin folder, and it is as easy as that. So inside our Dolphin folder we right click, new text document, just Control V to paste that in there. And so now we've got portable.txt. So basically when Dolphin runs, if it sees that, it knows to keep it all self-contained and not do the normal. You get a message you need to download Visual C++, but hopefully I've already got that. Let's just spin up Dolphin. So it's like generating that user folder to report information back to developers. No, thank you. That's Dolphin. Basically run. You can see as soon as I ran it, it created this user folder, and a lot of this stuff is what it puts into your Windows profile if you don't have that portable option. So we've done that. So next they say some common settings. So it says here there's some common settings to set up, get working, but the rest of them are kind of like your personal preference. Depends on what hardware you've got, what graphics card, or, of which which graphics driver works best for you. So let's just go down and set these bits and pieces up. So create a place to put your ROMs. I've already got that already. So if we just go back to Dolphin, double click and find the game directory. There you go, so Dolphin cannot find any games. Double click here to set a games directory. So I know in my Lightgun collection folder, I've got a Wii folder with some games in, so I'll just select that. Okay, so let's pull those in, and these should all be shooting games, which looks like they are. So I've got those pulled in, that's great. So next we go to config, interface, mouse, cursor, visibility. So config, config, interface, and then we've got mouse cursor, visibility, never. It shows you handy screenshot here just in case. And then it's graphics. Actually, let's close that. Graphics. General. Enable start and full screen. There we go, so I found it eventually. You can use ReShade to apply border if you have issues with the Sinden border showing up. So ReShade is hopefully we won't need it. If we do, we'll go through it, but it's basically a little utility which basically adds into the or makes some changes to the exe, so it actually puts borders and shaders and other effects at a program level for an emulator. If that makes sense. So you can use it with Sinden Lightgun to actually almost inject the border into the program itself. So it's the program does it, because occasional emulators, obviously the Sinden software is running in the background, it tries to put the border around, and sometimes with the emulator running, the border can't always be seen if there's an issue. So this ReShade is another option. So if we do need to use it here, we'll jump into it and have a look. If not, I might do it as a separate video. Hopefully we won't need it. So anyway, enough of that. Then go to advanced. So let's go back here. Excuse me, go advanced, and then enable borderless full screen. If I can find it. Borderless full screen. So again, this is to help the Sinden white border show over the top. Okay, now controllers, and we've got enable background input, set Wii Remote 1, Wii Remote 1 as emulated Wii Remote, and click on the configure button. map the buttons. So button B should be click 0, and then so I'm doing this with the mouse. I'm not doing it with the light gun at the moment. So A should be right click. I'm doing it with normal mouse, and obviously the light gun emulates the mouse anyway, or see it as a mouse. So yeah, B is 0 and A is 1. Click on the save. I guess, well, the profile's empty, so each camera has a button layout, referred to as manual, and map buttons accordingly. Okay. But now they actually run these AHK as an auto hotkey script. So it's a little, you don't use it before, it's a little utility you run. It runs these little scripts and can auto start emulators for you, can then kill it afterwards, can remap buttons. Like in this case, if you press the escape key, it's going to do this, and it's going to kill the Dolphin process, basically kill the app. Do all these clever bits and pieces. So I think that is as simple as it is. There's nothing about going into the older version 5 and I think setting up 2 players, which is what it talks about. So you can always follow that if you need to. And this is a third-party tool it uses to try and trick it into using 2 players. So I think for now we just stick to here. So for example, you can use this one to launch a game. So normally, I guess you do it, if you want to do it manually, play a game normally, just open up dolphin.exe, find a game, double click it. I think the script is more if you're running it from the front end. So if you run it something like RetroBat, you'd have this AHK script saved into your ROMs/Wii folder, and then you'd get RetroBat to look at the AHK extension as games and put them into a list, so that when you when you launch the game from RetroBat, it would actually launch this script. As you see, this script will actually launch Dolphin and start the specified game, this case Ghost Squad, and then once you finish, if you hit the escape key, it will close Dolphin for you. So, but just to launch this manually, we've got Dolphin here now working. Let's just, one thing I do need to do is just start the Sinden software. Let's go to configuration, just see that it's working. Oh, if I turn the border on, it'll probably work even better. There we go. So I'm not sure I mentioned it before. I think I did mention it before in the other video. Obviously, the recommendation is look at the width of your TV or your monitor, and then double it, and that's the distance you should be back from the monitor. And you can see here that I can see the border quite well. It's moving around. If I get too close, you see the right-hand screen. The blue box is kind of disappearing because it can't see the border properly. I'm too close. I'm probably about the width of the screen away at the moment. So if I come back, you can see it looks a lot better. So let's just minimize this out of the way, minimize all this stuff. Let's try Ghost Squad. So double click this. So now for me it's launched full screen, and I can't currently see the border. And the plus button isn't working either. I don't know what's mapped to the plus button. So that's a little bit annoying. So let's stop that. So I obviously need, for this particular game, I need the plus button mapped. So if I go back into controller and emulate, there we go, yeah, sorry. Click and configure here. So the plus button and the minus button are going to map to the two left buttons. So front left, click 1, I don't want to click 1. Okay, front right button's what I'm doing for plus. So the Sinden software we mapped that to the button 5 on the keyboard, so a little bit complex. Yeah, so I've got plus and minus now mapped to the, I think it's actually the front left for one of them, and front right. Oh, don't need to do that. Right, minus button, I want the front left button. Right, Jesus. The minus button, I've got the left hand side of the gun, the back button, and then the plus button is the front right button. If I remember that. I think D-pad up and down. Yeah, so they've got D-pad on the side of the gun. Already works there, so that's cool. Right, let's give that a try. Although I couldn't see the border, so pretty sure I did everything they said. So yeah, we hit the mouse cursor, and then the other option was under graphics. Start full screen. I'm going to change to Vulkan now. Okay, that's ticked, that should work. So not quite sure, not seeing the border, so we might have to use the ReShade, which is, yeah, that's good to show. So let's just try this again from a button perspective, make sure it works. Yeah, it's loading, I can see the border. Now at this point the border disappears. Triggers are working. Because the border's not up, I can't move. It's trying. You just see the cursor jump up there. So, right, okay. So obviously, you know, this version of Dolphin obviously doesn't allow the border to show up. So let's go back. Let's close this. Let's just use the ReShade option that they mentioned, which was here. So use the ReShade API that matches the backend. So this is where I was in Dolphin and I changed my graphics backend to Vulkan. So I think we need to know that information and use ReShade. So let's download ReShade. Post-processing everywhere, so an injector, that's what they call it. That's the word I was thinking of earlier. So for games and software, so you basically can add post-processing of the graphics to a game, an executable, whether it's a game or video software, etc. So it's a very very clever little tool. I've seen this mentioned on quite a few sites. So let's download this version of ReShade. We're going to stick that in downloads as well. Again, it's not very big. Let's just go back to the guide before we go any further. Download ReShade from the link above. Doesn't require installation. You just run it from wherever you downloaded it to, because it makes changes inside the exe, so you don't need ReShade to run while you're doing this. So I think I did look at this once before. I haven't really played with it much. So like I say, it's just an exe that you run. So select a game or application that you want to apply it to. So I'm going to browse and find my Dolphin. So under Lightgun collection, emulators, deeper. Dolphin x64, so dolphin.exe. Click next. So I use Vulkan, works quite well with my graphics card, but obviously you might have something different. So it's probably best to try a couple of games in Dolphin first. I mean, you may have already used Dolphin, but if you haven't used Dolphin before, try a couple of games and just see what graphics works best for your card. In my case it was Vulkan. Just hit next. So select pre-install. So it looks a bit different on the screenshot now. They've got the nice graphics, but yeah, you basically pick Vulkan as I did. Preset to install. Click skip if we're using 5.7. So we're on 5.9, so we are above that. So we'll skip that, and then what we want to do is Suite Effects. On the effects page, select Suite Effects by chj.dk and Standard Effects and click OK. So Standard Effects and Suite Effects. Yep. Click next. Okay. Select Board Effects. I'm going to ask you which of the Suite effects that you want to install. The rest are optional. So if I untick all and just tick Border Effects, because obviously we want to apply a white border. So click next there and finish. Should get a successful launch a game. ReShade will appear on top left. Try another ReShade guide. The image does not appear. Okay, so you run it, you hit the home key, and then it brings up the menu and we can set a white border. Okie. Right, let's run Dolphin again. And then if I hit the home key, this needs to be in a game, or let's launch a game. See what happens. Oh, there you go. Got a message in the top left. You probably can't see it's cut off, but I've got a little text message in the top left saying ReShade version 5.92. Visit the website for updates, etc. ReShade is now installed successfully. Press home to start the tutorial. So you might, I can move this. Hopefully you can see that. Skip the tutorial. Click Border Effects. Border color. I'll make that white. So it's 255, 255, 255 is white. Just click out of there. You probably can't see it appearing, but do now have a border. I'm going to make that a bit bigger so it's the same kind of size. So we've got 25. That looks to me about the same size as the standard border, the Sinden. So I think that's it. I've done that. I've enabled that. I've changed the border to white and made it 25. So you can't see all of it because it's gone off screen for you. But so now if I hit the home kit go. So now I should, in theory, be able to hit the plus button. And now there we go. I have the pointer. Let's go arcade. So first time I played it on here. Oh, come on. Awesome. Yeah, whatever. I just want to start the game and get going. Don't you see the mouse is... Yes, 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 yes. Let's press the plus button to skip. Loaded, play it a second to make sure it's all working nicely. It works pretty well. You probably noticed a bit of screen tearing on here. That's because I've got an older graphics card. It works okay, but if I have VSync enabled, it's just so slow. So oh no, what's the activate button? I wasn't actually reading the screen, to be fair. Anyway, you can see it works pretty well. Oh, right, you literally just point off the screen, you don't have to press anything. Anyway, just hit escape, come out of there. So that works pretty well, and so we did need to have the ReShade. So I appreciate that went slightly off screen, but like, you know, as I mentioned, when I started the game, I got this text here. I'm going to make it a bit bigger. So I did get this text in the top left-hand corner of the screen. I hit the home button, and then again, you probably didn't see it, but I got kind of this screen up. I think I did. Hopefully, you saw most of it. But literally, the default border color was black. I changed it to white, and then I set the border color, or border size, sorry, to 25, and that to me looked about the same size, roughly, that the Sinden border looked. So I mean, the other advantage of using ReShade is the border's just there. You don't have to remember to turn it on, because normally with the Sinden Lightgun you press the right-hand back button to turn the border on. You can press it, I think, more than once to cycle through a full, you know, a widescreen border or a 4x3 border. But if you're using ReShade so now we've got ReShade applied to the Dolphin XE. In theory, I might just try it again. If I'd launch the game, I appreciate again you might not see it because it goes full screen, but checking that the border is still there and everything's saved. Yep. So yeah, I've got that little ReShade message up in the top corner for a couple of seconds, goes away, and the border's there. So that's quite handy. Yeah, probably works quite a bit easier than using the Sinden software. So you don't need to remember to turn it on and off. But anyway, so that's pretty much it. That's it running. I've played a quick game there. So yeah, it's quite straightforward to be honest. In here, the only thing, like you saw, I mucked about a bit with the controller mappings, but you can set them how you want, as long as you've got those around that way. So you've got the trigger is the right button, and then you can map your plus and minus and other bits and pieces where you need them. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I mean, there's other bits and pieces on their tutorial. Like I say, we use ReShade. A couple of bits in here about if you have an issue, the home button's not working for whatever reason, you can basically create the file manually. So this is the preference file that it creates, and that's got the settings in for the border. So I'd imagine, yeah, I've got this ReShade ReShade ini. So this is all the settings for ReShade in here. So yeah, so it's looking at me. Bits and pieces, all the settings in there for the border. So yeah, you see it creates this ReShade shaders subfolder, and that's where it puts in the all the stuff it needs to be able to work. The shades in there. Border FX is the one that puts the white border in for us. So anyways, you can do it manually if you have issues setting up. And likewise, if you set that once, in theory, if you then use ReShade on a different emulator or a different program, you can just copy. You obviously have to sort of apply it to the XE first, but then just copy the ini file across, and you'll have your white border set up already. A little bit handy. And there you go. That's supported emulators. We can do it. You can do it for main as well. We've done it for Dolphin. Just make sure you match the graphics backend that you pick. In my case, it was Vulkan. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of sort of Windows games where you can do it as well. You can basically apply the border to these. So yeah, I won't go too much into that. Like I say, it's there just to put a border on. You can do other stuff with it. So yeah, we got to here. We use ReShade, mapped all the buttons. That's the example script you're going to launch from a front end that they recommend. So there's some stuff about if you want to improve accuracy and remove your crosshairs. There's some ways of getting rid of it. Yeah, I've got some instructions on their GitHub page. So, like I say, in that game I had the cursors on screen, but if you wanted to take those off and just use your own line of sight, you can do that. And like I say, this other bit was about doing 2-player games. So you have to use an older version of Dolphin, and then you can use some little tools to go with it to actually try and get 2-player working. So that's it. Hopefully short-ish, half an hour. I'd say short and sweet, but it's never short and sweet. So yeah, we're all good. So when you finish, I'm just going to stop the light gun software, otherwise my mouse is going to jump all over the place. Let's close that. So yeah, that's it. That's Dolphin working with the Sinden Lightgun. And for me, that was only a quick play. Sat here, I wasn't paying much attention. I was trying to concentrate on the video at the same time, but it seemed to work quite well. So I'll have a proper blast of that. I might change some settings in Dolphin as well to get it to go full screen, because it was full screen, but it was the 4:3 ratio. So I'm pretty sure in Dolphin you can change the settings to stretch it to widescreen, which I'll probably do and have a play, and a few other games as well. So yeah, hopefully it was useful. Like I said, this is probably a bit more straightforward. I mean, the initial setting up the emulator is quite straightforward, but then you've got ReShade on top as well, which is probably might be a bit new for some people. But yeah, it all works well, as you see. So yeah, good luck. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe. Any comments, yeah, just put them in the comments. As I said before, I've got a Facebook page, I've got a Discord server with quite a few members now, so if you've got any questions, check them in Discord or the Facebook group. It's slightly easier for me to read and track than YouTube comments, because comments seem to appear, and then if I reply to them, I don't always see if people reply back again. It's quite hard to keep track of, but it's much easier. Just start a channel, Facebook group or Discord if you've got any questions or comments or suggestions. And yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.